Hi everyone. I'm very honored to be here, and yeah, thank ICB 10X for inviting us to be our partner. So the title of the talk is Harnessing AI, the Battle of Fine-Tuning and in Context Learning, which is going to be the topic of the bounty as well, right? Yeah. Don't want to waste your time, right? So just basically use my talk to introduce the bounty. Okay, cool. So the outline of the talk, right? They're going to be basically two parts. I'm going to give you a quick intro of what I mean by fine tuning, all right, and what do I mean by in context learning or prompting, and we go directly into the bounty. So basically, when you talk about deep learning, all right, when you talk about deep learning, you basically start with pre-training your model with some relevant data, okay? And that's going to give you the opportunity to train your model with a large amount of data, all right? And then when you're about to use it, when you want to adapt it to your domain data or to your domain application, you fine tune it, all right, so that your model can perform the specific task. Okay, that's the common wisdom until we have large language models that can do in context learning, all right? So a lot of people say that with LLM, we don't have to fine tune models anymore, right? That's pretty exciting because basically you can control the behavior of a language model without writing a line of code. So that's very exciting, all right? But at the same time, this is a kind of question that we don't take lightly. Yeah, we want to make sure that before we commit our resources to something, all right, we want to make sure that that's the best way to do it, and that's the reason why we have this bounty. Okay, so that you can have the hands-on experience in comparing these two different classes of techniques. Okay, so what is pre-training? Basically, you get your language model to learn the co-occurrence patterns within the data, right? If you talk about language model, you want one way to do it is the next word prediction, all right? What is this word going to be given the previous words, all right? And n-1 is the number of previous words. For example, John works in the hospital. So this is going to give you a probability of what this word can be: doctor, nurse, pharmacist, or whatever occupations related to the context that's given to the model. And what is really exciting about language models is that by solving this very simple problem, it can learn the pattern within the language, and it can be adapted to do many more things that are not related to next word prediction at all, right? So that's a revelation that allows us to basically before pre-trained language model, right? To do easy tasks like topic classification, you needed a lot of examples, all right? Maybe like tens of thousands of examples in order to have a good topic classification model. But with this, all right, you can use it zero shot sometimes if you're lucky, okay? Or if you want to make it, if you want to improve the performance, you may add like 1,000, 2,000 samples to make your model fit your specific application. So let's talk about transformers a little bit, okay? So that you guys know what language models look like, right? They're basically three different classes, right? But according to the attention is all you need paper, right? There are two different components, encoder and decoder, okay? So So what's going to happen here is that you're going to have the transformer that learns the co-occurrence pattern within the data, all right, and store that as a rule within the weight of your model. Okay, so do you need encoder and decoder at the same time? No, actually. You can have an encoder-only model, all right, which is going to be, it's probably going to be one of the models that you use to solve this problem, right? Yeah, you can have encoder only, and this is good for doing discriminative tasks. For example, topic classification, token classification, right? Or if you want to do search, or you want to like do something like, you know, with question answering, all right, where you get the question to retrieve answer. Okay, this is going to be the kind of model that you can use. All right. Next one is a GPT-like model where you have decoder only. This model is good for creating a chat-like conversation, all right, because it's similar to the way that human generate conversation. Okay, and of course, you know, you can have encoder decoder models where you have both, all right, and this allows you to train your model in a sequence to sequence fashion, right? You can have input a sequence and output a sequence, and you can basically control the behavior of the model so that given a specific sequence as input, it's going to output the sequence you expect. For example, machine translation. All right, you can have an input sequence in Thai, output sequence in English. Yeah, so you know, these are the like different flavors of language models. So basically, what I want to advocate is that, well, a lot of people say that the GPT-like model is gonna pretty much take care of everything, all right? No offense to Microsoft, but okay, you guys, I mean, a lot of people want to do in-context learning with GPT-like, right? I think that's a very, very interesting prospect. Okay, if we can do that, then that's awesome, all right? But let's make sure, okay, that this is really the way to go, okay? And anyway, all right, we still have a more classical paradigm, okay? Apparently, you know, in the AI world, something that came up in 2018 is already classical, right? So that's it's very exciting to be working in this area. Yeah, so basically, this is how you this is how you use BERT, all right? You pre-train it with a masked language model, okay? It's similar to next word prediction, but in this case, instead of masking the last word, you mask somewhere in between, right? And then when you want to use the model, okay, you adapt it to the task that you want, right? Yeah, so I'm going to talk about this more in the bounty topic, all right? So issues with fine tuning, okay? When this technique came up, people were pretty excited because it reduces the number of samples that you use to train the model. But at the same time, all right, we are moving so fast that now only 10,000 samples is considered a lot. Okay, so in comparison to in-context learning, fine tuning needs a lot more samples in order to modify their behavior. Okay, and another drawback is that when you teach the model to learn something new, there is a chance that it can forget something that it has learned earlier. Okay, and sometimes you don't want that, especially in a small training sample, right? You don't want your model to overfit to the new data. Okay, so that's the drawback of fine tuning. Okay, and of course it can overfit to to the new data as well. Okay, that's the issues with fine tuning. All right, and there is a new paradigm. Okay, called prompting. I don't think I need to talk about prompting a lot here, right? You guys are probably familiar with that. If you are a ChatGPT user, you probably have done this intentionally or unintentionally, right? It's a way to modify the behavioral language model by giving it a context, right? Giving an example, so that it can do what you want, what you want it to do. Okay, so that's a new way of using it, and this is prompting example. All right. You basically can communicate with the model using examples and just in plain English. Right? This is very exciting. Okay, that you can communicate with a language model in plain English, and you can modify the behavior. Right? In this case, give an input template. Okay, prompting, and then the prediction, and it's going to give you the mapping. All right, so I think, okay, this is a way, a legitimate way, all right, a legitimate competitor to fine tuning, okay, so I'm going to give you another example. All right, so here you just basically give a bunch of, not a bunch, right, like some examples for the language model to see. All right, the first one is sentiment analysis. Okay, the first one has a positive sentiment. The next one is neutral. The third one is negative. Okay, sorry. Okay, cool. All right, so what is this going to be? All right, so the company anticipated its operating profit to improve. So if the language model is correct, it should say positive. All right. Another example, all right, is topic classification. All right, but I'll just. Okay, cool, great. Yeah, so you can give an example, right? In this case, instead of giving the classes as the sentiment, the classes are topics, okay? And you basically expect the model to you would expect the language model to answer it, all right? I'm sorry, what happened? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Right, so basically fine-tuning versus prompting or in-context learning, okay? Fine-tuning gives you a better control, all right? You can customize the training objective as well. You can use a different loss function to do fine-tuning, okay? That's the luxury, all right? It works on smaller models. You don't need to use LLM, all right? You can use TinyBird with 4 million parameters instead of using GPT-like model with billions of parameters. Okay, and you can do it can be adapted to specific tasks or domain. For example, if you need a lot of domain data, okay, to apply your model to, there is no good way to do in-context learning with that yet. Okay, with prompting, good thing about prompting is that, well, you don't have to spend resources to update the gradient, which is pretty expensive to do. All right, you don't need so many examples. Is quite versatile, right? Simpler to implement. Basically, it's a good prototyping tool. Right? I mean. You might try your idea with prompting or in-context learning first, and after everything works, you want to optimize, you do fine-tuning later. That's a legitimate way to do it, right? So let's just talk about our bounty for track 1. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 tasks. The first one is text classification. All right, so you basically classify a sequence of tokens, right? Like a sentiment sort of thing, right? so basically, like this example, right? กับข้าวร้านนี้อร่อยมาก that's a positive sentiment. Okay? กับข้าวร้านนี้ไม่ค่อยอร่อยเลย that's negative. Okay? ฉันประทับใจอาหารร้านนี้มาก Alright? What should be the label? Alright? So that's the task that you have to complete. Okay? And of course, you can do this with fine tuning as well. All right. Okay. Now, a lot of times, okay, you don't want to classify the entire sentence. You want to classify only a word. Okay. So this is called token classification, and one good example, all right. When people use token classification is NER, named entity recognition, is when you want to extract information from text. Okay. So for the in-context learning example, I'm going to give you the first one. Okay. โรงเรียนสวนกุหลาบตั้งอยู่ที่จังหวัดกรุงเทพ All right. So โรงเรียนสวนกุหลาบ that's a name entity. Okay, and it's an organization. Right. จังหวัดกรุงเทพ that's a location. Okay, so you want to tag this token and this token with the correct entity type. Okay, and บริษัท SCB จัดแข่งขันที่กรุงเทพมหานคร Alright, you give this an example as a context and you ask the model to tag the entity. Alright. And of course, the same thing can be done using fine tuning as well. Okay, so let's talk about the rules. All right, competitors need to do two tasks. Okay, you can choose in context learning or fine tuning for each task. All right, you can basically mix and match. The moral of the story here is that we want you to find out yourself which class of techniques are better for which task. All right, we do have some assumption in mind, but we're not gonna spoil it. All right, you go and find out yourself. All right, so yeah, you can use any publicly available training data. Okay, but we will also provide standard data sets. Okay, you can choose any model as a starting point. Okay, and then everything needs to be reproducible. Okay, I come from a university and I want to promote experimentation reproducibility. All right, so you guys submit the code and we review it. Okay. It's going to be Kaggle style, right? So I don't think I need to say more. Okay, so yeah, that's the bounty, all right? I hope that you will enjoy it, and I hope that you will learn something from working on this bounty as well. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarana. How about we take some questions first? Regarding the we still have a little bit.
I went over a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, because I want to emphasize on the importance of the track number 1, because we might found some breakthrough, who knows, during the hackathon. So first off, I would like to see the hands of the potential track 1 competitors who want to be in the track 1. No? No one? Oh, over there. All right. Because if we saw the stickers in front, which track are you choosing? So many people are choosing track number 1, but maybe they change their mind. Yeah. So yeah, let us have some few minutes for some few questions regarding the track number 1, if you have any. All right. So actually, I have the questions from the participants before we begin the sessions. What kind of models that can be used during the hackathon? Will it be provided, or the participants have to find the model themselves? The data sets.
We do provide standard data sets that they can use, but they can bring their own data as well. And go back to the first question: what kind of model? All right. We can give you recommendations. There are open source models that you can use. For Okay, that's for fine tuning. All right, that's when you have to basically take an open source model and then modify it. For the LLM, if you want to do in context learning, I think you guys have sponsorship from Microsoft.
Yes.
Right.
We will get into that. We will get into
Okay,
that.
cool. So you have access to the best in class LLM.
LLM.
Okay.
Okay. But the data sets, it could be any. It could be text. It could be image.
Okay. But for our bounty, it's gonna be text. All right.
Or text. Okay. Just to emphasize on this, bounty with text, it will only apply for a text-based data sets. So if you are training a model for an image, you can do that also. Maybe you might win the hackathon, but you will not win this bounty. So all right. So please put our hands together for Dr. Sarana ครับผม And next up, okay. Oh, the mic.
Hi, hello. My name is Kunat Pipathanagun. Yeah, I am senior AI engineer at SCP-10X. So this is a track tool. Track tool, we focusing on the toolings and innovations. First of all, generative AI is revolutionizing the communication works and innovation. Like a ChatGPT, everyone knows all of these products. ChatGPT, like how we work and how we write, and Midjourney, as like how we create virtual content, or GitHub Copilot, recognize how we code and as how developer done things. Yeah. So, but with the
เดี๋ยวดูดเฟรมครับ
but what's going to be next big innovation in generative AI or LLM? We talk about maybe would be here. We talk about LLM because we have like quite a short session. So, but it's applicable to done some toolings on stable diffusion or other model tools. I would have to say this, but as this talk, I would like to discuss LLM first. So LLM is like Dr. Sarana say, it can understand and communicate in natural language, and it's versatile, and it have been taken the world by storm as ChatGPT released last year, and it has many potential more complex use cases that has not been invented or productionized. So, as a tooling track, because why it's not productionized? Because I think that most of them are in the research track. So it's not come to productionized because the tooling is not enough, tooling is not ready, and very new concept has been done a lot in the research. However, it cannot match the tooling, and the tooling is not ready. So we try to focus on the tooling here to make the more advanced use case to be developed. So start with the component of the LLM system. We have large language model, like ChatGPT or something like that. We have database or vector DB. This is a new technology that is emerged because of the LLMs. If you don't know what is vector DB is a database that is not using rules to retrieve things, but using context or natural language to retrieve things. And another external tools like a search, calculator, and APIs. Okay, we need a prompt because we're talking to the LLM. And we might code something as an algorithm to connect the LLM together. However, because we have many components that is emerged from the LLM, we have many toolings coming from that tool, such as LangChain, Llama Index, and AutoGPT, which the tools have been very different from when it's come out because this is very fast-paced space. It's fast-paced because it's only just 1 year old from the ChatGPT and from generative AI. And then, with the tools, actually we have a lot of POC on the innovation that LLM can enable, but it's not productionized yet. This is AutoGPT. This is if I can explain, is a first proof of concept of AGI. AGI is artificial general intelligence. That means it can solve any problem in the world. That is a goal of the many AI researchers. And this is one of proof of concept. มันเป็นวิดีโอครับ
อ๋อเป็นวิดีโอ
มันไม่เห็นแบบ
เดี๋ยวให้ทีมเพลย์
like this, we can set a goal to the AutoGPT. Like we want to create the comprehensive report of Nike company, and it's gonna go through all the search engine, like a search on Google, what is Nike company, and it's define the subtasks that we have to look for the competitors and many things that relate to Nike company, and it's summarized to you. This is a report of the Nike company, and it has been merged between many data sources. So because what I have to say, how to research on the Nike company is not easy task. As a human, we have to go through the many links, many articles, and many thoughts that have to take. But this is a proof of concept that the LLM itself, if you done it correctly, it can create a plan and thought and execute it for you. This is one innovation that can be done. Next, I want to talk about generative agents. Generative agent is a concept that use the LLM to simulate the human and communities and social around them. Like this guy, this Lin family, Mary Jo and Eddie, they have done some walking, waking up, brush the teeth, taking the shower, and done what the daily life they on their own. And in the simulation itself, it have many places that resemble the small city. And from the founding, of generative agents is come from that is that the goal of the each person have create some communities and the knowledge is immersed in that side of communities. So the use case is enable us to simulate human social interaction, which we cannot do it before because we cannot replicate the human. Or it can done some jobs on like generic use case, the old use case like SQL or knowledge graph. However, it's not been easy as this, as we can create some using some unstructured instruction to create the SQL or knowledge graph from it, because this is very take so much time in the previous generative AI era. Or meta prompting. But meta prompting can be like a prompt that can solve complex tasks and reduce hallucination by using another prompt to critique the results itself. So it's learned recursively. And everyone knows now we have only text. But if we have maybe image, audio, or another model, it's going to be better. Yeah. Yeah, that is a glimpse of the potential. You can define one, and if it interests, we are interesting too. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is some.
Let's take some questions,
Yeah.
and maybe we can explain more about the track number 2 on toolings. Okay. All right. Any questions regarding the track number 2 on toolings? So from what I understand, the toolings in the hackathon, maybe you can develop something from text to SQL, similar to that, or maybe from SQL from the database into a series of picture generative AI.
Yeah. Anything. That is the we have many questions that what is different between track 2 and track 3.
What's the difference?
The difference is the track 2. We focusing on the developers and enable the innovation itself, or make the developer doing jobs much easier. But the track 3 is focusing on the end user itself, or enable application layer.
So this is very clear.
Yeah.
Track 2, we are focusing on building something for the developers in order for other developers to build upon that.
Yeah.
But for track number 3, we are building an application layer where end user, anyone who doesn't know anything about coding, can use AI in their daily life.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a difference between track number 2 and track number 3. All right, thank you so much ครับผม thank you so much. Can I have the clicker back?
Hello. Hello. So
Poom
my
and
name
Chun?
is Poom.
Chun as well?
Yeah, and
All
Shun.
right.
All right. So hello everyone. So my name is Poom. So today we're basically gonna talk about like how we can go beyond ChatGPT wrappers. So as you might already know, there's actually like quite a lot of applications that actually builds on top of ChatGPT. Should you want to go near me? Yeah. So a quick introduction. So my name is Poom. I'm a software engineer and I was the vice president of engineering at Brickle, a US-based startup. But right now I'm mostly working on indie projects. And Shun.
Hello, my name is Chun, and I'm currently an indie maker, and currently building one of my own projects called History Logbook, which is a Wikipedia visualizer for studying and learning history.
All right, yeah, just to add to that, Shun also like has his first product acquired, which is a DeFi calculator. Is that right? All right. So we are from Creators Garden. So we are basically a group of people who really enjoy making things. So making things might be making products, or it might be basically like making events where people can connect. But it's like the internet connection between topics. So first, let's talk about how not to find new ideas. So has anyone here watched Silicon Valley? Then I know you might have seen like Ehrlich's scene where he takes a mushroom and suddenly there's ideas. But unfortunately, it doesn't really work like that. So Shun, what's like the first rule of like doing this hackathon?
Yeah, do not start with AI.
Yeah, this is for only track 3, of course, but this is important. So for track 1 and 2, we're basically starting at the model layer, right? And also the tooling layer. But for track 2, you're actually building something for people. So that means please, please, please don't start with AI. So if you take a look at any like listings of AI products, I recommend indiehacker.com. This is a listing of basically AI products. You can see there's actually not only AI here, but there's a lot of domains. So in here you can see like, for example, domain like security, domain like house building. So Shin, like, how do you think these products are built, like in terms of indie products?
In terms of indie product. So I think there was a term called the organic idea, where the idea start with the our own need and then work backward to the technologies. So I think it start with the domain and the technologies, not the technology first and then working backward to the domain.
Yeah, I think something really important when you're building something in the application layer is before you can figure out which technology to use, first you must know the domain. Some technology might be better fit for an LSTM, some is better fit for transformer, but if you don't know your user, you can't build anything. So in this talk, we're basically gonna tackle one of these first, so they combine into a beautiful product. All right, so a note on exploration. So I think a lot of people explore things differently. For us at Creators Garden, it's basically about organizing events and trying to find new ideas. So for example, one of our events is Sayasat Night, which is basically exploring Sayasat in connection with science. So as you can see, even if you're building in a like kind of serious hackathon like this one, it doesn't actually always have to be like we're going into like healthcare or finance at the get-go. It's actually about exploring like what you want to know. So one of our recommendation would also be just to like get to meet with people in other domains. So again, just to recap, before you choose, like you're going with ChatGPT, you're going with transformer model, make sure you get a clear domain first. All right? So we're basically gonna cover like basically 6 steps in how you can go from having no idea. Could you raise hands if you don't have an idea yet? 0 idea. Wow, that's actually more than half of the room. So don't worry about that. We're gonna go from explore all the way to building MVPs. So Shun, could you like talk about how you get started with exploration?
Oh, okay. So for exploration, if you don't have any idea yet, I think it's better if you are in the problem-rich environment where you have a lot of problem near you. It's going to be a lot easier to find new ideas. Yeah. So maybe like a simple advice is to maybe finding a new hobbies. Just getting the get your curiosity and then finding your hobbies, go deep, and then maybe reading a book or anything.
Yeah, I find out so we used to be in quite a lot of hackathons together, and I found that it can be very intimidating. For example, you can see the example for this hackathon is mainly for example, finance or in healthcare. And if you have never been in that domain, it can be a little bit scary. But if you start with your domain, you can actually work your way up there. For example, if you're a fan of One Piece, did anyone watch anime in this room? Oh yeah, quite a lot of people. Maybe there's a domain to be tapped in people who like creative ideas. Shun, what's your hobbies?
My current hobby is learning history. Anyone is a fan of 8-minute history?
8-minute history?
Yeah, cool.
Ah,
Yeah, we can
nice.
talk together.
Yeah, so there's actually quite a lot of things that you can start with your interest or in the things that you're currently doing day to day. Next up is reading and listening. That's also like always very good. Yeah, Shin, like how did you get started with the history logbook project? Like what do you read?
Actually, one of my project history logbook actually start from my own hobby of learning history through podcasts, and I love it to search on the Google. So I, learn the like learn my behavior and then build it to the product.
So for me, it started from like hobby as well. So one of the project we did with like a Thai artist, a Thai performance artist, Kun Pichet, I actually started piquing my curiosity when I watched this video, Taught Kwam Tepanon in YouTube. So a lot of time we aren't really healthcare experts, we aren't really finance experts, but if you listen to an influential talk or see a product which is very cool, I think that can be a great starting point. And another point is just to get your hands dirty. So a lot of time you don't really know that domain, but there's a lot of tools you can do. Maybe if you're very new to, let's say, the generative AI domain of generative arts, make sure you can go and play with a couple of tools. Or in my case, I want to build an assembly compiler, so I just started reading like a couple of articles and just go at it. So a lot of times you don't know the domain, but start playing and start building can be a good help. What about you?
I think it's very important to like get your hand dirty, maybe building something small about what you're curious about. Because I think when you go deep on some topic, the more problem, the more gap you will find, and that's get your idea.
Yeah, this is also like how we initially get started with like the Thai performance art or Natasin domain. So like back in high school, I really hated Natasin. It's like one of the worst subjects. But to be honest, like when I started doing a little hackathon with a couple of the artists, it isn't that scary because you actually get to understand the fundamentals. So whatever domain you're doing for track 3, I would recommend just getting your hands dirty with other people. And I think Shun, you also did the same.
Yeah, it's like before I start one of my projects about algorithms, I also have a hobby about, solving algorithm case and yeah.
All right, so that's exploration. And what next?
Is to find gaps. So when you go deep enough or, explore your hobby, you will find a lot of gaps. Yeah. What make you like unhappy? Can I make it better? You need to like asking the question and observe yourself.
Yeah, I think this is something that tends to be overlooked because when you're doing hackathons, a lot of time you have an idea and you want to jump at it. But I think it's also very important because the judges that are going to be judging your project, they know the domain. Like, please don't pretend they don't. If you're doing a project about like healthcare or housing, then that means they will at least have some domain knowledge. So make sure that when you're in that domain, when you're exploring, you have like another self that is observing you. Like, what's the problem? If my domain is housing price, when I'm browsing for houses, what's my problem? Make sure you do that observation. So what's your example?
One of my example is for the past like previous 2 years, the DeFi is like kind of popular in Thailand, right? So I starting learning about it because I'm just curious about it. And then I come to this first calculator, which is I need to use it, and it's quite slow and a little bit of bad UX. It's quite hard to use it. So since I'm used to develop my own products, so I think I can make it better. So I decided my second one, which is my own projects called Uniswap Calculator, which is the improve of the first one.
Yeah, so in this case, the gap is basically what you expect in terms of like the UI, but there can be a lot of gaps. So how we define this is in terms of disappointments. So let's say you're using a product, you're expecting it to be easy to use, but it turns out that it's not what you quite expected. So this is what we call disappointments. So disappointment is like a gap between what you expect and the actual reality. So when you see something like this, it's always like a good idea to start building products. So for my gap, I talked to one of the artists here, Kun Pichet. So he said that in Thai traditional art, in Natasin, like every performance has that element of tepanom. You have to have like all the marks, you have to have everything. But what would happen if you are able to mix this with other domains? So in his mind, the gap was like too much restriction in Thai performance. That's like his gap. And his ideal world is to remove like that restriction. Another project I have done is like, even though I work on some creative projects, I also do some reverse engineering stuff. And my problem is that like I don't really understand assembly that much. So I want to like have a better idea on like how this works. So yeah. Okay, so I would say like trying to find gaps, it might seem easy, it might seem like straightforward, but actually empathy is more of a skill. You need this skill to really understand like, is something a problem? How do you understand the domain? For example, in domain of healthcare, a lot of times like people who are having the problem, they don't know that they're having problem. So it's this ability to understand people, and they really develop over time. And actually, a very easy trick to develop this is just to be in multiple domains. If you work in, like, let's say finance, don't only like look in finance things in your spare time, because the more domains you explore, the more you actually see patterns. All right?
A little bit note here. I actually have like a similar experience when I'm solo traveling, where I go to a different place and take a look back on what like I normally do things. Like for example, I didn't know that MRT was very expensive in Thailand compared to until I go to Singapore, or I don't know like tipping taxi is bad in Japan or something like that. Yeah, so I think my advice is maybe like go broaden your perspective will help you notice problem much better.
Yeah, I have like a little quick hack for this hackathon. So there's a lab called MIT Media Lab. It's basically a research lab by MIT. If you go to their research page, you can actually find a lot of inspirations for generative AI. So the domain is, I think, media.mit.edu. All right, and what about defining purpose, Shun?
Good question to ask is why are we rebuilding this? Why are we rebuilding our projects? To learn, to explore, or to express ourselves, or to be useful in helping others.
Yeah, I know when you're building hackathon, I know like, hey, my purpose is to make useful things. But let me tell you that isn't really the only purpose. Because sometimes you might build project to learn more about the technology you use. And that can actually make your project more successful. So don't limit it to only be useful, but there's actually quite a lot more. So Shun, what's your purpose when you build
Actually,
hackathons?
my projects are the blend of those three, like exploration, self-expressions, and usefulness. And and the only one is the main thing to focus on, but the other tools are like supporting.
So when I attend hackathons, my two purpose is always learning plus making useful things. Because if your purpose is only to make useful things, then you don't really understand the domain and the technology well. So I think the purpose of hackathon is not only to win, but to make you a better software developer, a better people, a better human. So make sure you're exploring that. All right, and we come to the fourth one, which is daydream. So daydreaming is very important. Remember, the objective of hackathon is not really to build products, but it is trying to understand what is the current limitation of the software that we have today. So you're trying to hack that limitation. So that's what the hackathon really means. So try to design your perfect world. I think, Shun, you have a good example.
When I'm developing my own projects, I always asking like, if I'm the user and I'm facing this problem, like what is the perfect experience that I wanted? So I list it down like 3 or 4 lists, and then doing a little bit of sketch here, like POs, like sketching on any tool you want.
So for me, usually I have this very big disk in my second brain in Obsidian. So like all the projects that I want to do, it's a bit of a mess. But then I started daydreaming like what my ideal project should look like. I also like do quite a lot of looking into like interactive tools. And most importantly, I draw concept art. So I think like when you're doing hackathons, a lot of it are fake it until you make it. That means like you should try to get a working product with real technology, not a mock-up. But at the same time, you can't implement 100 features. So you got to learn how to do concepts, and you got to learn how to connect it together in your pitch. All right, so that brings us to the proof of concept. When you're doing projects, you don't really have the full knowledge. You don't know if this product is going to 100% work. Yeah, so Shun, what is like the 2 ways you can validate?
You can validate on not just on the tech but also on the market. Actually, anything you want to that you are currently assuming and you want to validate, just list it down and validate it.
Yeah, so how do you usually do POC?
Some of my example is the Learn algorithm, which is the interactive course. It's one of my product. But before I developing the actual product, I just like posting it on my Facebook and then test it the market how like people are interested.
Yeah, there's also like this tool, right? The
Yep.
mermaid
Another one
diagram.
is one of my projects that I do with Excalibur, which is a open source whiteboard. Is the text to mermaid, text to diagram, which you can put in the text in and then it's output the diagram. So I build a playground so that they can like playing around and see what's work.
Yeah, so you either like post on social media trying to get the traction, trying to get people's email and see if they're interested, or you just build a tech prototype. So it can be either of those. For my project, basically if I do data science project, then I try to validate my assumptions, like what the heck is the data? I try to plot it, I try to apply formulas, and importantly, I try to visualize it. Because like a lot of the time, you don't have a clear understanding. So this is like one of my project where I try to use math formulas to interact with Thai performance arts. So the first POC can be very, very minimal. Another thing is you can just play with data. So this is a project where I basically like extract PDF statements from Thai bank. So you can try to get the raw data first. Or of course, you can try to post on social media and see if people are interested in like both the progress and the products. All right, and we are almost there. MVP. So Shun, what makes a good MVP?
Let's start with the definition. I think I already have a good definition. Is MVP is the minimum effort to make customer happy. Yeah, so just do whatever to achieve that goal.
Yeah, I would say 80-20 is very important. When you're doing hackathons, make sure 80% is what you already know. Don't go, yeah, I never use React, I never use maybe an transformer architecture model, I never use PyTorch, I'm going to use all of it. That's not going to work well, please trust me. In your hackathon, make sure you have 20% left to do new things, and 80% is the try and true stack that you use. So Shun, just briefly, what's your MVP?
Like my project history logbook. It's actually go back to your goal, like to explore or to like self-expressions or to build something useful. Since this project is to build like something useful, so I focusing on the tools that I already know so that I can ship fast. Right.
All right, so for me, my MVP is basically building on top of my POC. Yeah, and I also have another project where instead of having assembly in raw form, I try to make it into a diagram. So an MVP is basically like the version that you can give to your customer. And I think that is it. Another last quote from me is that you don't get lucky if you plan everything. So if you try to build a product, don't try to lay a full Gantt chart with everything. Just try to make sure that you have the first version that the customer is happy. Try to get feedback and don't plan too much. So I think that is it for us.
If you get curious about anything, just like take time and go for it.
Yeah. And I think that is it. Thank you.
All right. Round of applause for these two gentlemen who contributed a lot to the community of developers for how many years already?
7 years.
7 years already. So if you want to know how to get the new ideas, Poom already explained to you guys. Just get into the domain, get your hands dirty, and explore, and have some empathy on the users, whether they want to use your solution or not. Because a lot of times, a lot of hackathons, we kind of build something no one want to use. Yeah. So we want to avoid that. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Krab. A round of applause, please.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we have a few bounties for this hackathon, right? But first, starting off with from Kun Saroj, AWS, maybe to give a brief on the bounty from AWS.
Okay, ครับผม so thanks you and very appreciate that inviting on this one. So in part of the AWS, we support on these programs and also support at the beginning from the all I think it's a 15th team that involved. The bounty is go to that 5,000 USD on the credits and AWS. You can have on this one. And continue follow up this one that in the track 2 and track 3 that we have the workshop. There is a hands-on workshop as well as that we have a mentor. There is a specialist for the machine learning for guide you and consult you on this one. And any team that is incubate, we will support some the 5,000 USD as well for all the team that incubate. Yep, there's a bounty for us.
Okay, thank you so much, Krab.
Don't worry, we will share about it in the Discord as well. So if any one of you haven't joined the Discord yet, feel free to join later on.
So from InnovazX, so our bounty is that we are giving $1,500 for the team who is participating in track 3 and doing their best to unleash the potential future of finance in kind of 4 ways. So basically, we're focusing on how the team can do the creating an impact by using the AI in building business growth, customer excellence, productivity improvement, and risk mitigation. Can I talk about the detail?
Feel free to talk in detail.
It's gonna be a while.
Feel free to share, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what are these areas that we are focusing on? You might ask. So basically, the first one, the business growth. It's how the team can kind of use the Gen AI to kind of innovate and creating new investment business model or maybe investment products. Just in case you don't know, InnovazX is investment and security companies in Thailand. We are a flagship investment platform in SBX Group. So our customers are investors, traders. So with this business growth, we are expecting, if you are willing to, focusing on building the business, and it can be something like helping the investors to get a smarter decision on their investment and beat the market, right? And the second one, the customer excellence. Customer excellence is more like how you can use Gen AI to create an enhanced customer experience in InnovazX platform. It's more like how you can reimagine how InnovazX platform will interact with the customers. This means personalization, gamification, you can name it. The third one is the productivity improvement. Everyone knows that AI can do the productivity improvement, right? But we are focusing on the investment industry, and we are focusing on the business processes. This can mean an AI-driven tools that can help the people who are doing repetitive and time-consuming tasks like reading news, reading papers, reading financial statements, reading 10 pages of 10Ks, something like that. And the last one is risk mitigation. It's how you can use the Gen AI to reduce and prevent the potential risks that could be posting the threats onto the security companies. This can mean enable the early detection of fraudulent activities, predicting negative news. If you guys are in Thailand, you might know the Stark. You might want to search that on Google later. Stark, more stock. All those are kind of like black swan events in stock market in Thailand. And if we think about how it would be better if we can know that before it happens, right? All those are the 4 key areas that we are focusing on. And actually, we know that your solution might not be just impacting only one area. It can be impacting multiple areas or all the 4 at the same time, depending on your solution. And we are here just to support. We are providing the data for you, the InnovestX research papers, publicly available data sources that we think should be useful for the use case. And also, we are providing spatial data request support as well. We can talk about that later if you guys need it. And workshops and kind of mentor sessions to make sure that you understand about our business landscape and also the products that we have. So all those are supported to you guys. We're here to make sure that you success in what you were trying to do. And I hope for the best for you guys. Thanks.
All right. So for InnovestX, you will find a lot of support and a lot of data source, I assume, that will be provided for everyone to work on. And up next, from Wistech Bounty ครับผม
Okay, hi again. So yeah, basically I was asked by the organizing team last month to come up with a bounty at the modeling level that can be done in a short period of time. All right, and I thought that it takes ages and a lot of resources to fine tune a large language model. And so basically our bounty, I want it to be something that can be done shortly, okay, with moderate amount of resources, okay. So that's what, and then at the same time, I want it to be kind of like a nice educational experience as well, because when you think about it, right, most of us, when we are using a language model, we are going to be fine-tuning it to fit our data. Okay, so I want this bounty to give you the experience of modifying the behavior of the language model. That's why fine-tuning is one of the components in this bounty. And at the same time, with a lot of like LLM advancements, a lot of people say that, well, now you can modify the behavior of a model without writing a line of code with prompting and in-context learning. I thought that was nice. Okay, so let's have a scientific comparison to see which way is better. Okay, that's the reason why we came up with this bounty. And the second reason is that, okay, most of the NLP tasks are not generative. Okay, you actually, most of the times you'll be using NLP models to extract information from something that has been written by someone else. Okay, for example, investment news. All right, if company A buys stock from company B, right, you want to extract that kind of relationship so that you come up with a knowledge graph or something that analysts can take advantage of. So yeah, and so basically, I want you guys to be exposed to this kind of like information extraction tasks in NLP as well. So that's the reason why we came up with that bounty. And I already talked about the rules and regulations. But basically, we look at the accuracy, we look at the reproducibility, we look at your code, all right? And the best team gets $300. Well, it's not a lot in comparison to other bounties, but we are a university, all right? So
It's okay.
yeah, okay.
Maybe after this, you can monetize from it later on.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So I hope you enjoy, all right, the bounty and the question that we raised with NLP and fine tuning. Okay. Cool.
โอเคครับ thank you ครับตอนลักษณะ actually just want to get back to คุณสงกรานต์ a bit เนอะ so on the InnovestX track right maybe can you give some perspective from I think as a data scientist yourself what are you expecting from the participants
I think what we expect to see from the participant is we want to see the innovative or practical ideas. It may be by the end of the hackathon, you may be able to, you may not have to build the actual commercial ready application, but you should be able to build some of the POC or demo to demonstrate your idea to give the sense of how you can utilize the generative AI into the actual application. And I think that's already impressive. And if you need any question, if you need any answers or support from InnovestX, for example, like a data source or opinion from the company side, we are here and please feel free to reach out. That's all.
thank you
All right. How about what is your expectation from AWS ครับคุณสารส
Thank you ครับ So what we expect into that one, we want to see the innovation, what happened in that you applies and usage on this bounty on the credits that we have developed. Actually, in AWS, we have a lot of data that we can get into what is called the foundation models. And also we have Alexa TM and Titans that you can develop and use this one to include it, build it, and make an impact with the customers. That's the thing that we're looking for. The second one is go to the, because of the bounty, is not just only go to the 5,000 at the beginning, and it's periods for the 2 years. As well as if you incubate, it means that you have more than the 5,000 added on that one. So periods of that one is 2 years. That you can not just only go to the experiments, have a POC or build an MVP, but you can make it success and real things happen based on this one. So we expect that how to create more impact and scalable in the Thailand, our country does. Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับ so you will get a credit of 5,000 US dollars worth of AWS credit when you join the hackathon and it can be used over 2 years and you will get more another 5,000 if you get incubated with SCB 10x so altogether you might get up to 10,000 US dollar worth of AWS credit all right and okay last question about how is your organization adopting AI how do you adopt AI in your organization right now and how can the participants learn from that or maybe build on that on top of that may I start with Tech ครับผม
Well, we do build AI, so that's the best way to adopt it. I think, but I mean, for a broader perspective, all right, for the entire university, how do the School of Information Science and Technology encourage other schools adopt the data culture as well, right? We offer the benefits of having things backed up by data, all right? You want, like, if you want to do student admission this year, we look at our history, we look at what we did, we look at the current students, all right, who perform well, who don't perform. That's going to help us design the interview question. All of these things, all right. I think there was like a cliche called what fact-based decision making, all right. So it allows us to rely on intuition less and make more informed decision using statistics, using whatever tools we have, right? So, yeah, just offer the benefits, right? So that people can just jump in and help you with the adoption.
All right. How about InnovestX ครับ
Actually, InnovestX is pretty passionate about adopting AI to solve pain points of our customers who are investors, traders. We have a specialized team working on AI. We have partnerships with internal organizations like 10x, DataX, of course, and also external organizations like Microsoft, Stanford University. We're working together with them to build cool stuff in-house. But actually, there's one project that I can talk about right now. So, because I want to sell. So actually, we are releasing tomorrow night an AI-powered research paper. So this solution, we built it to make sure that the investor would be able to get a timely information and what should I say, the comprehensive analytics from the analyst point of view. So this one, we are building from the scratch, using the partnership with Microsoft and overcome the investor challenge in investing offshore stock markets. Normally, if you are investing in offshore stocks, you have to overcome something like language barriers, the market knowledge, limited market knowledge that you can find, difficult financial statements and information that you have to read. All those things, we're trying to overcome those. And with this solution, we believe it's going to be giving you a valuable insight. Actually, tomorrow night is going to be the night that Tesla is releasing their quarter earning reports. So if you have a Tesla stock, you might want to just go into our website and see the earning brief report powered by AI. This report will give you a comprehensive analysis on how Tesla have worked so far over the quarter. And I can tell you that it's just not an accessible data for just normal investors. So these data were powered by AI and reviewed by our research analysts. And we are doing our best to give the investor a very insightful investment. So, and there's also more initiative in the house. Yeah, so that's how we are embracing the AI in InnovestX.
All right. And how about AWS ครับ adopting AI, providing the AI tools for the developers in the hackathon?
Okay, these are two parts. Let me begin that we from the 2006 that we have in Amazon Corp. We start the one is just a beginning for the selling books online. We have a personalized that using the machine learning. That's a developer internal is that is a lot of things happen like we have Amazon Go that is a recognitions to things that you can not catching on any queuing on this anymore. And we help a lot of customers, 10,000s across the world. There's coming out the AI service that we have personalized forecast after fraud detector for the FSIs. And the chances go through, we help the customers provide the ML platform that they can use that into and develop their own models using the SageMaker platform. That is also experiments, pilots, and do the deployment on the SageMaker and using the model. And coming up with we have generative AI, open the gate into the foundation model that you can use that one as Amazon Bedrock and get into that foundation model, build a lot of things that generative AI happen. It's not just a generate text, summary text, but it's all to the image to image, composition of music, right? Text to image generation as well. So many things that scenario this can happen for that. We help the customers across that and maybe benefit on yourself to build the news business as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much,ครับ. So you can explore these with the AWS credits in the hackathon as well. And คุณโอครับ do you have any closing remarks on the bounties?
Oh, I think we covered it pretty much all, right? So, do we have time for questions? No, right? Probably at the end.
At the end.
At the end, right? Okay, I see, ครับ
All right. So thank you so much ครับผม our panelists ครับ thank you so
Thank
much
you ครับ
So first off, about the support that will be provided during the hackathon, may I ask how will Microsoft support the hackathon with the competitions?
Okay, so first of all, thanks SCB 10X for having Microsoft here. So I think what Microsoft can support is that we can support on both things. First one is on the compute side, and also the second one is on the model, right? I think most of you may know that Microsoft and OpenAI, we are partnering together, right? So Microsoft have one program called Founders Hub program, which can give access to any startups. Starting from the ideation, we give 5K, and then you can accumulate the credit to 25K until 125K, right? So it depends on the level or the series that you are, right? So that's the first one. The second one, beside that, you also get tools, right, that you can leverage. For example, Microsoft 365 and GitHub Enterprise, that you can use the Copilot to help you to code faster, right? So these are the things that Microsoft also would like to support you as one of the technology partners, right? And then beside that, we also can support on the mentoring and also on the help on the technical part, that we have some solution architect to also help give you the insight that how you can use the OpenAI to address the business problems. And I think last one, that what Microsoft can really contribute is that we can bring you the problem statement from real market in Thailand. I think OpenAI in other countries, they might be able to address more, right? But in Thailand, there are some limitation in terms of the language, which Microsoft is looking for co-creation partners to really bring the localization of OpenAI to the Thai customer, right? So I think those are things that we can come and help.
All right. So if you haven't experienced the co-pilot, now this hackathon is the time that you might get started with help using Microsoft. All right. Okay. And from Wang, can you explain a bit about what is Wang and what is your support during the hackathon, ครับ?
Okay. First, thank you SCB to let Wang here. And first, can I introduce Wang? Wang Data Market is the online crowdsourcing platform to collect the data by data labeling and data collecting solution for AI and machine learning researcher. So the thing that we provide and support to this competition is, I think it's very direct for the track one. Track one is the modeling. So every researcher that need to research and innovate and create the new things. So maybe sometimes you need to label the data and collect something new, or you have the data and need to just collect, classify it or some label it. So we provide the credit 3,000 baht for every team in the track 1. And for the track 2 and the track 3, maybe it's not quite directly, but maybe we think we can support some part. If you can use our platform to adapt for support your solution, and maybe it will make your solution better, we very welcome. So we provide 1,500 baht for per team for track 2 and track 3. Moreover, we have the consulting for every team that need to collect the data.
All right. So Kun Grit over here has been working on data labeling and models for how many years already?
Maybe 4 years.
From 4 years ago. So if you need the data labeling service, please try to explore Wang in this hackathon. And also, he can be your mentor himself during the hackathon as well.
Sure.
Sure. All right. And for these sessions, we can have some other Q&A.
Okay.
Or
And
PO.
there's also Nectech that's providing, but not on stage too, right? So Nectech is providing the AI for Thai platform, right, for all the finalists that participate in the finalists too.
So if you are participating, the 15 team that is admitted to the hackathon, you are the finalist. You will get to use the AI for Thai platform from Nectech. All right. Now is the time if you want to ask anything regarding the hackathon, because all the support are here.
But maybe I'll start with some questions first.
All right.
So maybe from Wang first. Okay. So data annotation, right? When we talk about like data labeling and annotation, is it limited to text based, or if I'm doing like some generative like image, can I use the platform?
Yes, our platform can customize the tasks that you need to labeling, including the text, image, voice, audio. Yeah,
Okay.
Everything.
And is it does the platform only provide a tool, or and the team has to do the labeling themselves, or how does it work?
We are the online crowdsourcing platform. For now, we have 600,000 workers in our platform that can provide the man-hour for labeling the data for you.
600,000.
700,000.
700,000 crowdsourcing platform. Those people will label the data source for you.
Yeah.
With the tool that will validate the answer as well.
Yes, we
Right.
have the quality control system to validate the data. Moreover than the data labeling solution, we provide the open data source that we have already published the data set. We call Wang data set. That is the online open data source that everyone can access in our platform too.
All right.
Okay. So
Okay.
maybe to Pibin too from Microsoft, right? So actually, not sure if you can answer this, but you touched a bit on that for Thai context. Like there are gaps where enterprise or companies can't use AI in their context yet. Like, can you provide some maybe rough examples? What kind of things? So for ideas that they can build on.
Yes, thank you. I think ChatGPT, GPT 3.5 and 4, right, are quite good on Thai, but not as what customer in Thailand expecting, right? 4, I think is a lot better, but the challenge for 4 is like, I think the investment and also the latency, right? So now I'm looking at for the partners, right, in Thailand, any organization, startup, right, to do the fine tuning to bring the Thai working together with the 3.5, and then we can have the model that can go to all the customer in Thailand, and then Microsoft will be the one who help you go to the market, because we see the demand in the market from the education, or from the organization SMB, SME in the market that are looking for this kind of model. So I think co-create the model, leveraging the GPT would be the business that Microsoft is seeing that this is quite like a huge demand in the market at the moment. Okay. So I think this is what I'm looking for. And then I like the track number 2 as well. Having the tools to help the customer do something by themselves is, I think that's a good idea. Let me give example. When you build the model, right, you would need someone to validate that. If you can use the GPT model to be the validators of whatever model that you are creating, that really help to cut the time to go to market for the customer as well. So these are the things that I think Microsoft, we heard a lot of requirements from customer. Then we can help share that what would be the things that when you build, then it can really sell in the market.
Okay, and maybe extend on that. So we have SCB 10X, right? It's part of the bank, right? So I think everyone assumes that it's finance. Then we have InnovestX on investment, right? Are there other industries? Do you have examples of other industries that are also interested in AI and they want to use AI today?
Yes, we are talking with many organizations, right? Let me give some example. I think revenue department want to use the model to really understand the terms and condition of how you pay the tax, which is really, really difficult, right? I think even ourselves is still having some difficult to understand that whether do we have to pay at this percentage or something, right? So I think government definitely, those who have a lot of unstructured data, right, Thai language, right, those are something that we would like to work, right, and try to solve the problem for the customer, retail customer, customer-facing business unit, right? And last but not least, don't think of generative AI or open AI, just the chat. Chat is just the example, right? Chatbot is just an example, right? But think of how you can automate the process in any organization in Thailand using the GPT model, right? Which can help you shorten the time. Instead of building from 0, why don't you build from 80 and you complete another 20 to make it really work for the customer?
Okay, thank you. Actually, your example of revenue department reminds me of there's I think a photo from probably Yan Lekun, right, the AI expert, that he took a photo of a parking sign like, oh, no parking 4 to 6 p.m., no parking on Sunday and something like that. And then he input into ChatGPT and it tells you, he asks, can I park at this spot at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, right? And then the ChatGPT says like yes or no. So maybe that could be something that you guys can work on, taking a photo of, I don't know, your pay slip or some invoice, and then the tool tells you whether you have to pay tax or what kind of category it should go to and so on. So
don't limit yourself at just doing the ChatGPT, right? So let me share you this one. So this is the joke from the Microsoft that from the OpenAI that actually ChatGPT is the application that the engineer in OpenAI, they built it for testing. But luckily that it become the 100 million active user in just 2 months, right? So you can think of anything, but chatbot is just one example. There are many use cases that can be.
Thank you.